This is it, guys. This is the last week of practice for the Chargers this season. They will head to Denver to play the Broncos on Sunday. And the Broncos have something to play for. Yes, they clinched a spot in the playoffs with their win over the Bengals on Monday Night Football. But if they beat the Chargers on Sunday, they get a first-round bye in the playoffs, something they would surely want. So there's still motivation for them. As for the Chargers, they would like to end the season with a win in general, but also a division win. They have been shut out in the division thus far. They are 0-5, and in fact, they are 0-7 dating back to last year. The last time they won an AFC West game was in November of 2014 against the Raiders. So there's a pride element too of not getting shut out in the division and being able to go into the offseason at least getting one win against a division opponent. Someone who will not be in Denver, at least as of now, is safety Eric Weddle. Now, of course, there's been much made about Weddle this week. He was put on injured reserve on Monday. He was fined by the Chargers for not going into the locker room during the Dolphins game, instead choosing to watch his daughter perform at halftime, and also not being allowed to fly to the final game. Now, head coach Mike McCoy said that this is a club policy. This is what they do when players go on injured reserve. They do not fly to the away games normally. He said that some exceptions are made when a player asks if he can go to a game. Apparently, Weddle has not asked. So it will be interesting to see whether he does, or he's granted, or he does go on this trip to Denver. But certainly you'd want to see him there. This is a guy who has played with the Chargers for 9 seasons. He would like to end it with his teammates. He is a captain of this team. So yes, maybe he needs to ask, but also maybe you guys need to go over to him and tell him, hey, we want you to come along. Philip Rivers did say today that he wished that Weddle would have been given the opportunity to play on Sunday, to see if he could play on Sunday. Now, again, he was put on injured reserve on Monday, and Rivers made the point, look, this is a guy who has been sore lots of times on a Monday, but has been able to go out and play on the following Sunday. So he just wished that the organization would have given him a few extra days to see how he felt rather than putting him on injured reserve so early in the week. Now, the Chargers did announce their team awards today. This is something that they do every year. It's voted on by the players. Rivers, of course, the MVP. I don't think anyone would argue with that. Keenan Allen, actually, the Offensive Player of the Year. Daryl Stuckey's won it for special teams. Joe Barksdale, the Lineman of the Year. Malcolm Floyd, Most Inspirational. And on defense, you had Jason Verrett as the Defensive Player of the Year. And Verrett had 3 interceptions this season, was really good against strong wide receivers. And it looks like he's just going to keep getting better as long as he stays healthy. Here is his friend and his teammate, Jaleel Adai, on what makes Verrett so special.
No one deserves it more than him. He's elite. He's top-notch. He's fast. He's quick. He's competitive. And everything he does, he wants to be the best at it, and it shows how he goes about his business on Sundays.
One other quick note, as the season ends, we start talking about coaching changes and whether or not this team is moving to Los Angeles and what the future is for the San Diego Chargers should they stay in San Diego, draft picks, things like that. Philip Rivers was asked today whether he thinks this team is far off, whether they are reloading or rebuilding. Rivers prefers to use the term reload, said that they aren't that far off, even went as far as to say, I don't have time for us to be that far off. So he certainly feels the clock ticking. We feel it for him as well. I think it'd be hard-pressed to find a guy who deserves a championship, or at least a shot at a championship, more than Philip Rivers. We'll see what happens.